Good morning, all. Once again, we discussed, we were discussing about data models and its basic building blocks. Which are the basic building blocks? Entities, attribute, relationship. What is entity? It is a distinguished or unique object used to collect and store data. Okay, student is an entity, employee is an entity, computer is an entity. Okay, it is a real world object. Got it? Then attribute, the characteristics of an entity. The characteristics of an entity is called as attribute. Got it? So in later stages we will going to study in detail about this. What exactly entity? What are different types of entity? How to represent entities, and similarly for the attributes, relationship, etc. Got it? Attributes are nothing but a constraints of an entity. Sorry, characteristics of an entity. Okay, if I take a laptop as an entity, okay, what are its characteristics? What is the screen size? Make, price, sorry, manufacture date. Then what is the RAM? What is the operating system? Okay, all these things, probably some more. Okay, all these things are the what? Characteristics of an attribute, entity. Relationship. What is relationship? Which describes an association among the entities. If there are two relations, how they are related? Sorry, if there are two entities, how they are related? Okay, now student and a teacher. Teacher is also an entity. Student is also an entity. Got it? That student is also set of attributes. Teacher is also having set of attributes. How the student and teachers are related? Okay, the relationship is one which describes the association among the entities. How these entity and students are associated. Okay, this is called as relationship. There are three types of relationship. One is one to many, many to many, and one to one relationship. Now I am talking, you are all listening. This is one to many. Got it? This is one to many. Then you are also unmuted your microphones. Okay, and I am also unmuted, and all of us are talking. This is many to many. Kiran is talking with Sujit is talking with Kiran, and Leena is talking with Snehal is talking with this, and simultaneously Sumaya is talking with Riya, and Riya is talking with Soumya. See, this is many to many. If it is one to one, means I'll ask only questions to a particular student. Okay, I'll be there and only one student is replying for that. This is called as one to one relationship. Now about these things, relationship, attributes, and entity, we're going to study in detail in the upcoming classes. Got it? What are constraints? Constraints is nothing but a set of rules to ensure data integrity. Set of rules means, see here now lockdown is going on. Okay, every time when they impose a lockdown, okay, they will set some protocols, rules. This time what is the rule? Okay, all the classes should run online. This is the first. And second, no vehicles are moving from one district to another district. This is another rule. Okay, then after 10:30, no other grocery shop or other shops should not be open. See, these are the set of rules which are imposed in the society. Similarly, for the entities or some attributes, we are having set of rules. What is that set of rules? Okay, name should have that column should have only alphabets. There should not be any special characters, or there should not be any digits. Got it? And salary should be in the form of numeric. It should not be alphabet. Gender, it is only one, either F or M, like this. See here, these are called as, these are nothing but uh, different types of constraints which can be imposed, okay, on data integrity. There are so many constraint, not null constraint, unique constraint, and other size constraint, etc. There will be something. Those can be seen later. What it? ಕೂಡ ಖುಷಿ ಕುಂತಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡು. ನಾ ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡಲಿ. Then categories of data models. Categories of data models. Hope you understood these data model basic building blocks. Is there any doubt in entities, attributes, relationship, and constraint? All of you, do you have any doubts on these?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Then there are different types of data models. Data models can be categorized according to the types of concepts they use to describe the data structure. The three different data models are, three different categories of data models are, one is high level data model. It is also called as conceptual data model. There are three types of category models, okay, categories of data models. One is high level. This high level is also called as conceptual data model. Okay, then we will discuss one by one among this about these things. Then representational data model. This is also called as implementation of data models. Then low level data model, or it is also called as physical data model. Physical data model. See, what exactly high level or conceptual data model? In high level data model or a conceptual data model, if I want to build a database, what I will going to do? I will, if it is a database for the student, okay, then a student database or college database, then I'll try to identify the entities, attributes, and the relationship among those entities. I'll try to identify these things. Which are the entities? Okay, will be there in college database. Okay, example, student is one entity, employee is another entity, then course is another entity. Okay, then other things or branches, etc. These are called as entities, and we have identified the entities. Now we need to find the attributes for each of them. What are the attributes of student? What are the attributes of employee? What are the attributes of branches? Okay, etc. On these things we're going to deal. Okay, we need to identify, and which are the constraints to be applied on these attributes. All these things are nothing done at the level of high level or a conceptual data models. Got it? So in high level we collect all the things, we specify all the things. This attribute should be of not null, it should be primary key, it should be foreign key, etc., etc. This is how we need to identify how the entities are related. Okay, this is nothing but high level or a conceptual. Here we have not just identified the things, we just identified these things. Then comes representational or implementation data model. Okay, representational data model or implementation data model. What happens here? Actual implementation of what we have planned in the high level. Okay, what we identified, what schemas we have prepared. Okay, all those things are should be implemented. All those things are implemented in the data model, representational or implementation model. Got it? And then comes low level or a physical data model. In low level or a physical data model, what happens? Actual storage of information, datas are stored in this. It is a implemented thing where we are storing all the datas. Okay, this is physical data model. So what are the categories of data models? First one is high level, second one is representational and low level. Okay, high level is also called as conceptual data model, then representational or implementation data model, and low level data model. Low level is called as physical data models. Now, high level or a conceptual data model. Data models provide concepts that are close to the way many users perceives the data. Okay, if I bring with some of the concepts, okay, of data models to be designed, okay, what you will going to do? Yes, you will collect all the information and you will decide, this is one entity and this is one entity, and among the entities which are all the required attributes, you identified all those things, okay, which is needed. Then conceptual data models are concepts such as entities, attributes and relationship. This is what I explained. An entity represents a real world object. This is all you know. Okay, entity represents a real world object. Example, employee, the project, student, college. Okay, these are all the various entities. An attribute represents some properties of interest. Some property of interest means in which attributes. See here now, I am having so many attributes. Each and every person is having so many attributes. If you take a person will be having a name, person will be having his ID like Aadhaar number, okay, date of birth, and he is having profession, address, phone number, etc. Even he likes food, okay, every person will be liking one or the other kinds of food, okay, and he likes one or the other kinds of colors, but which are all needed. Only those attributes should be considered, not all the things, right? So then relationship among two or more entities represents an association among the entities, means how they are related, how those entities are related can be represented with the help of relationship. Okay, this is all the conceptual data model. Okay, data models are categorized into three. One is high level or a conceptual data model. Second one is representational or implementation data models. Here the representational or implementation data models are the models used most frequently in a traditional commercial database management systems. How do you implement? With the help of DBMS, commercial DBMS softwares. Got it? With the help of how you are executing the programs with the help of those compilers, right? Okay. Then these includes a widely used relational data models. How these things? RDBMS. These representational data models represent data by using the record structures. By using record structures, how the record will be stored. Okay, with the help of schemas. Hence, these are sometimes called as record based data models. Why? Because we stored all the things in the form of records. Records is nothing but a table values. Got it? This is a representational data model. Physical data models. A physical data models describes how data is stored as a files. Say here now. Physical data models describes how data file is stored in the computer by representing information such as record formats, record ordering and access file. Okay, we need to store the datas in the form of files. Where we need to store? In a computer. Okay, what are all should be there in that files? In that we have to specify or represent the information related to record format. Okay, what type of record you are storing, in the form of Excel sheet or in the form of tables or in the form other forms, etc. And record ordering, how you are ordered, means how you arranged. Got it? And access file means if I want to retrieve it, I need a access file paths so that I can easily access those data from the physical storage. Got it? So in conceptual level, we design, high level design should be done. Got it? And in implementation models where we are actually implementing, then in physical models exactly we are storing and retrieving, and all those things can be done in the physical data models. If I take a real world example, okay, if you want to build a house, first you plan, okay, what should be the expenditure and where should be the hall, where should be the kitchen, where should be the veranda, okay, how exactly it should, okay, outlook, everything you are going to decide. That is nothing but a high level data model. Okay, then what you are going to do? Actual implementation of house takes place, that is implementation data model. Okay, then physical data model, exact after once you implemented, once you constructed the house, then the things will be set in proper way, means how the sofa set should be there, where the divana should be there, where TV has to be fixed, okay, where should be the showcase, where how the things are arranged in the kitchen, how the things are arranged in the dining hall, bedrooms, etc. Got it? This is physical data model, means physically we need to organize, arrange all the related datas. Here are things. Got it? This is nothing but physical data model. And indexing is an example of access path. Okay, so access path means it is to retrieve, how to retrieve the values, okay, from the data models. All those things should be mentioned in the form of path, in the form of paths. So hope you understood high level, then representational data models and physical data models. Is there any doubt over here? Is there any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Next is schemas, instance, okay, and a database state. Schemas, instance, and a database state. Schema, okay, the description of database is called the database schema. The description of database is called as the database schema. What is the meaning of this? The description of database. Example, see, the description is different and actual database is different. Now let me show you. Here is there an example. Now yes, see here. Now here the student table is there, course table is there, prerequisite table is there, section table is there, and grade report table is there. These are the schema diagrams of student and courses. Now this is, let me take pen. See, this is a description of the student table. This is the description of the student table. What the student table should contain? It should contain name, it should contain student number, and it should contain class and major. Got it? This is the description of the student, but the data is different. This will tell only description. Description is nothing but, okay, if it is a primary key and it will be mentioned like this. Okay, student number is a primary key. Only this much. Limited number of constraints are mentioned at the schemas. Okay, so the description of the table is known as, what is that? Schema. This is the course description. What is the course description? Course name, course number, creditors, and department. Prerequisite, it is another table. Okay, then course number, prerequisite number. Section, it is another table. It's section identifier, course number, semester, year, and instructor. These are all the description related to section table. Grade report, student number, section identifier, and grade. These are the description of the grade report. So what is schema? The schema is nothing but the description of a database. Which database? Either it can be prerequisite, or it can be grade report, or it can be employee, or it can be student. Okay, for that database. Okay, here the description of the database means a table name is called the database schema. Which is specified during the database design. When it will be specified? Okay, this is specified at the time of designing of the database. It is not done after the implementation. This is at the designing phase. These are all the description should be mentioned, specified during the database design, and is not expected to change frequently. See, this is very important. Okay, see, this is and is not expected to change frequently. Means, if you have created the database here of a student, okay, once you have designed it, and in the later stages, once it is implemented, just you need to add the values for it. If I want to add the first student name Kiran, his number is 2 and class is second semester, major is MCA. Third student, I am going to add Lena, then I am going to add her number 3, and this class is again second semester and course is MCA. Then Ria, then others. See, like this, all the student values can be added into that. But I am not changing any of these things. I am not deleting any of the attributes, or I am not adding other attributes. Okay, see, this is called as, this is why, so design should be done at the first, and once it is designed, and by looking at its all from all the corner, then later we will not going to change it frequently. Only you can see here now. If I don't want the value of a particular student record, like I don't want this. Okay, just a minute. Hello. Hello. Okay. See, if I don't want any record from this, okay, later I may not, if I am not interested in that, so I can delete that student record, but I cannot delete these things. Table heads means column heads. Got it? I can change Kiran's name. I can change his number. I can change his class, or I can change his this thing. But I cannot change the column name. I cannot delete this column name, or I cannot add one more column frequently. Got it? So this is what this schema should not be changed frequently. It can be done, but it is not done frequently. Got it? This is. Then why we need not to change? Because see here now, suppose now this student is having these things. I have entered 10,000 values for this. First row is first student information, second row second student information, like this 10,000 student information is I have added. If I add one more column called date of birth, okay, in later stage if I add date of birth for this, okay, then I need to add the values for all 10,000 students. Got it? If at all it is very much necessary, then we have to add it. We have to include this. This is called as schema evolution. If at all it is necessary to add another description, if you want to change the schema, okay, of a particular database, that you can modify it, or you can delete it, or you can add one more column. This is called as schema evolution. This is called as schema evolution. Okay, now most data models have a certain conventions. Most data models have certain conventions for displaying schemas as a diagrams. Displayed schema diagrams are called as schema diagrams. This is an example. These are the schema diagrams. This is how you can represent. Some will be giving you a different format. Okay, this is a standard format which we are following. Got it? So now, schema diagram displays only some aspects of the schema. See here now. Schema diagrams specify only some aspects of the schema, such as a name of a record type. Name of a record type is here student table. Name of the record type, see here now. Name of the record type is, what is that? That is a record type is here. Where is that cursor? Okay. This is a record type student. This is a course is a record type. Prerequisite is a record type, and section is a record type, and grade report, this is a report type, record type. So in schema you must have this record type. You must have this record type. Got it? So then what else you need? Then you need a data items. You need a data items. Which are those data items? Name is a data item. Name is a data item of a student record. Okay, student number is a data item, class is a data item, major is a data item, date of birth is a data item. Here course name is a data item for the record type course. Course number is a data item for the course. Credit hours is a data item for the record type course. Got it? Like this, these are all data items, and some types of constraint. It will not be having all the constraints. See here now, it will not be having all the constraint. Only few constraint will be mentioned in this. Like, okay, some examples constraint in the type. Okay, here it is a primary key. Here it is a primary key, and course name or a course number. Course number is a primary key here. Okay, and prerequisite number or a course number is a primary key. Okay, course number and section number, these two are the primary key for this. Primary key for this. Okay, then student number and section identifier or something, wherever this. Okay, this is a foreign key here. This is the foreign key because which can refer to student here. Here section number identifier is a foreign key because this is the same number which we are having here. Okay, so this is foreign key here. Okay, only limited number of constraints are mentioned here. Only limited number of constraints are listed here. Hope you understood. Okay, then other aspects are not specified, and other aspects are not specified in the schema diagrams. See here now. A schema diagram displays only some aspects of a schema, such as a name of the record. Okay, name of the record type. It is nothing but an entity name, name of an entity or a table name. And data items, it is nothing but a column names and some types of constraints like a foreign key and a primary keys. And other aspects are not specified. Other aspects means like data type, the size, okay, and other things are not specified over here. Got it? So this is all about the schema. Is schema is understood? All of you? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is there any doubt? See, these are all very important thing with respect to your future modules. Okay, like what do you call it as? Units, because it all depends on these things: schemas, instance, attributes, entities, etc., etc. That's why I'm asking you: is schema is understood completely? Do you have any doubts?
Understood, sir.
Understood. Snehal and Leena?
Understood, sir.
Understood. Sumaya, Ria and Soumya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, understood. Good. Okay, now we'll move to instance. Instances and database state. So instance is nothing but at this moment. Instance means at this moment. See here now, in the previous examples what we did, practical session, you have inserted some values like 4 values. At that particular moment of time, how many values will be there, how many data you have stored in that is called as instance. That is called as instance of a database. That is called as instance of a student database. If assume that I have a student database, I have entered only 3 values, 3 rows for that student, then what is the instance of that moment? then instances will be 3. Okay, instance of that student database is 3. Now, after a few minutes, I am going to add 10 more. I am going to add 10 more values. Okay, 3 plus 10, it will be having 13. 13 values are there in that student. So that is called as instance at that moment. Okay, when you take a particular time, for that time, okay, the number of values are there in the particular table is called as instance. Is called as instance. Now, the actual data in the database may change quite frequently. Okay, as I told, if you take an example now, just now I was asking you people whether you understood that schema or not. Okay, there were no Sujit. Okay, at that point of time, the instance is only how many students? 6 students. Got it? So that is the instance. He may joined, or earlier to that he was there, but at that point of time there were only 6 students. That is the instance. If assume that 2 more students have disconnected, then what is the status? Then 4 is the instance of that. Got it? The data in the database at a particular moment in a time is called as the database state or a snapshot. Snapshot means, okay, see, if I take a screenshot of this, okay, so while taking a screenshot of that moment at a particular time okay, how many students will be there in that screen, okay, that is called as a snapshot. That is called as a snapshot or a database state. How many data will be there, how many databases will be there, these are called as snapshot or a database state. It is also called as the current set of occurrences or instances in the database. Okay, how many set of occurrences will be there, occurrences data will be there, that is called as this. In a given database state, each schema construct has its own current set of instances. Means student is having 3 values, course is having 4 values, and this is having a 10 values. Grade report is having only 2 values. Okay, if you take a snapshot of that, that is nothing but what is that? A given database state. Okay, that is called as a state. That is called as a database state. Okay, in that each of them are having how many values, how many records. They are called as nothing but instances. Many database states can be constructed. Many database states can be constructed to correspond to a particular database schema. Many database states can be constructed to correspond to a particular database schema. What is this? Many database states can be constructed means like this: a student, okay, then course, prerequisite, section, grade report. If student is having 10 values, course is having 3 values, prerequisite is having 6 values, section is having 2 values, and grade report is having 20 values. These, if I take these things, these are nothing but a construct to corresponds to a particular many database. These are all the databases, okay, can be constructed to a correspond particular database schemas. Okay, they are all implemented with the various schemas. Now, see here now, student is having 2 values. 2 values. Name is Smith, another name is Brown. The first name, student number is, first student name is Smith and his number is 17 and his class is 1 and major is CS. Second record is of Brown, okay, Brown, and he is having the number 6 8 and class is 2 and major is CS. There are only two values, two records. One is record of the Smith and another is the record of the related to Brown. Got it? That is the instance at this point of time. Next moment there may be one more student or one student may get deleted or some values can be changed. Got it? So this is at this point of time, okay, this is the status, this is the instance. Got it? Similarly for the course is having four values, four records. Section is having 2 plus 2 plus 6 records and grade is also having 6 records. It seems 6 records and prerequisite is having 3 records. This is the instance of student, instance of courses, instance of section, instance of grade report and instance of prerequisite. Okay, then it is a complete, if you take the complete screen, okay, it is a snapshot of that database. It's a snapshot of that database, okay, where all the individual tables are having various instances. Hope you understood about this instance, snapshot and this thing, schemas. Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
Is it understood? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
fine.
Yes, sir.
Now, what is time now? How much time is there? Another 10 minutes is there. Okay. Now, 3 schema architecture. Already you know schema. Okay. Then we are having the architecture of 3 schemas. Architecture of the database management system with 3 schemas. Okay, and after studying about the 3 schema architecture, we will go for data independence. Okay, so now this is 3 schema architecture. Just to go through this word by word in that diagram, okay, which are all the things. Let me read it from the top. End users are there, okay. Who are all the end users? They are also called as external view. Okay, those end users, there may be n number of end users. There may be n number of end users. Okay, they can see a external view of the thing. Then next is external or conceptual mapping. External or conceptual mapping. Okay, we will study about those things later. Then comes conceptual level. Conceptual level, external level, conceptual level. Conceptual level is also called as conceptual schema. Conceptual schema. Then conceptual or internal mapping. Okay, it is nothing but so mapping between the conceptual and internal level. Then next comes we are having internal level. Then it is also called as internal schemas. After the internal schema, we have stored databases. We are having stored databases. You go through them everything, because otherwise I need to frequently change the slides. External level, conceptual level and internal level. External level and the conceptual level, here it is. External level and conceptual level, okay, the mapping is there. External conceptual mapping, it is called as external conceptual mapping. The mapping between external level and conceptual level. Okay, the mapping between the conceptual level and internal level, okay, is called as conceptual and internal mapping. Internal mapping. Okay, so there are end users, they are the end users, there may be n number of end users. Okay, they see only external view, they see only external view. Got it? They'll not going to see in detail. Okay, if you are, whenever you are entering online forms, okay, just you are entering your name, but you will not going to see what is its data type, what is the size, you can't see it, right? This is called as external view. This is called as external view. Okay, and conceptual schema means, okay, conceptual schema means here, if it is a name, okay, how the name should be stored, okay, where it's stored, what is the character size of the name, what is the number of records, data type, okay, then whether it should contain what do you call it as special characters or a digit, okay, whether it should contain other things, not null or this, whether it is a primary key or not, all those things should be considered here. And internal schema, here internal schema is nothing but, where is, I can't see this small pointer. Internal schema where exactly we are implementing actual storage of the thing, actual storage of the data records. Okay, actual storage of the data records. In the conceptual schema, what we do, we design all the things, we implement all the things, and in the internal schema we store all the things. In external view, just we see the outside world. Okay, what will be there, what exactly it is stored, and what kinds of files are there. We can't see all those things, details about that. Got it? This is 3 schema diagrams. We're going to see it one by one. In this architecture schema, can be divided, can be defined at the following 3 levels. One is internal level, which has an internal schema. We have internal level, we have this internal level, where is that? We have one is internal level where we are having internal schema is there. Got it? Then the second one is there, conceptual level, which has a conceptual schema. Okay, where we have a conceptual level, we have a conceptual schema, we have a conceptual schema, we have a conceptual schema. Got it? And next is we have external view or view level, which includes number of external schemas or user views. Okay, now see this external level or external view which has external schemas, number of external schemas, which has external schemas. Hope you understood. Hope you understood. Now, what is time now? I need a time for this to explain because it's very important. Okay, what I'll do, okay, we'll discuss more about this internal schema, then external schema and conceptual schema in detail, okay, in the next class. Okay, so because I want to spend more time on this, so that we will go to study in detail about these things. So let us conclude today's class here only, and we'll continue same topic in the tomorrow's class. With this, I conclude today's class. Thank you.